Nakakamangha ang talentong kayang ipamalas ng mga Ilocano sa pagluluto.
Alam mo, sikreto pagluto, pagmamahal.
Uray, narigat, haragsak alat ka.
Nakakalungkot lang na minsan ay hindi sila napapansin. Kadalasan, dinadaan-daanan lang.
Micro and small businesses have been severely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now that's the focus of Cinemalaya's Filmfest entry, Ang Nawalang Pag-asa at Panlasa. Now it's a documentary on how Ilocano food entrepreneurs are coping with the health crisis. Now the film's co-director and screenwriter Mark Moneda is with us this morning. Good morning, Direct Mark. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, good morning, Ms. Christine, and good morning, CNN Philippines.
Well, you know, it's been 1 year and about 4 months since the lockdown was imposed in most parts of the country. Umabot ang restrictions, di ba? Pati dyan sa Ilocos, where you are currently staying right now. Kumusta naman po ang situation ng food entrepreneurs dyan and how are they coping?
Well, I could say that they were gravely affected by the pandemic because it has been their passion. I mean, for years. And some of them, it's been their passion for almost half of their lives. Like it's daily routine na nila yun eh, like cooking and serving people. And just one day, bigla na lang dumating yung pandemic. Like it just hit our nation, and like a thief in the night, the pandemic took away everything from them. And I do believe they are coping up naman po kahit papaano by the grace of God.
Okay, now I'm sure you know a lot of people and cooks everywhere actually. I mean, Filipinos love to eat. I mean, they can always relate probably to your documentary. And we understand na dalawa kayo ni Direk Kevin ayon sa Aison ang gumawa ng documentary na to. What's the backstory? I mean, how did you guys think? Come on, let's do a short documentary film about food in Ilocos.
Well, both Direk Kevin and I conceptualized and directed the film, but Direk Kevin worked most on the more of the cinematography and execution, while I worked more on the screenplay. And I couldn't say that we had a hardship during the filming of this project. It's more of challenging on our part because last year, the very height of the pandemic, it was set, this film last year at the very height of the pandemic, and during that time we were restricted from many things and we only had limited resources, but thank God everything turned out just the way we wanted, so we're just so grateful for that.
Okay, then we understand you mentioned something about shooting this film during the lockdown, or you know the first one, I guess, last year. How long did it take you to finish this docu?
Well, if we would include the preparation plus the post-production, I think it took us almost less than 2 weeks, I guess.
Okay, so that's not so bad, less than 2 weeks, considering all the challenges that you had to face. I mean, I understand a lot of people actually travel all around the country. And one thing that they actually look forward to is the food, di ba, in each particular region, because there's always something so special about their area and, you know, what they can actually whip up in terms of the legacy. Ikaw, Direk, you've been a screenwriter, full-length movie, short films before. Ano po yung difference ng writing for a movie and writing for a docu? And do you prefer one over the other?
Well, that's a tough question, but for me, in terms of inspiration, I would say that writing for a feature film or a usual narrative film versus writing for a documentary film doesn't have any difference at all, because personally, whenever I write, I always look after the truth in every story, and I do believe that both of these types of genres has their own versions of truth, and I respect that. But in terms of technique, whenever I write for a feature film, I always allow myself to depend on my own imagination and creativity, and for me, that's a one-man team. But when I write for this docu, Ang Nawalang Pag-asa at Panlasa, I've learned that in order for you to pull this off, you should have this mutual and firm connection with the people as your subjects. I mean, there should be a collaborative effort and teamwork between the both of you, because after all, it's their story, it's not mine. Like, I should go with their flow in order for me to pull this off, this kind of genre.
That's right. I mean, it is their story and a story that we definitely look forward to watching and learning more of. Good luck to your film, Direct Mark. Thank you again for joining us this morning. And this is part of the Cinemalaya Filmfest, which will kick off August 6th.